we're going to talk to Chris about the OTAs, about the softball game, everything else involved at 2:00, Derek. And we haven't had him on in a while. I think the last time we talked to him was when the Eagles played the Giants in the playoffs. We had on him a couple times last year. He's an awesome reporter, by the way. Pat Leonard from the New York Daily News. He covers the Giants and does a heck of a job doing it. I will tell you that. Because Saquon's not a real happy camper, Gunner. He let it be known that he's not happy with some of the stuff that's being leaked out on the Giants side of this, because he's basically said, like, dude, I've kept my word. I'm not leaking anything. So I don't like this, and I'm not happy. And there's a July 17th deadline for him to reach a deal. He even said, I am considering all of my, all avenues here, and one of them may be sitting out. Possibly.
Well, he better talk to Le'Veon Bell before he sits out, because that costs Le'Veon in a lot of ways. Now, obviously, Saquon was younger than Le'Veon, but still.
Yeah, I got it. It's always a mistake. That always turns out to be a mistake in that league. But T.O. was the MVP. Yes, Fitness Rebel, you are correct. It's good. She was there. I love it. I love that she was there. So we'll talk to Pat about the Giants. We'll talk NFC East. We'll talk Eagles with Pat. It's nice that you don't have to deal with any of this kind of stuff with the Eagles.
I know, man. I know.
I mean, they got it done with Jalen. They didn't wait for everybody to set the market, all that stuff. Just get it done and keep moving, man. It's one of the things I think we underrate a little bit with the Eagles is there's not a lot of like nonsense that goes on with them.
And again, we give Howie props for a lot of things, and that's one of them. When Howie identifies a player they want to keep or multiple players, sometimes they get it done before that current season is even over. They don't let it linger here. And I think that's why a lot of players want to come here as well. Besides the culture is the fact that they take care of you. When they identify that you are part of their long-term future as well as their immediate future, Howie lets it be known they will take care of you. He has a great vision in terms of seeing the immediate future in terms of numbers that will be competitive to what the market is going to set at certain positions and getting the players. And you're right. The only player that really grumbled in recent years that I can think of is CJ. CJ GJ.
You're right. Yeah, you're right. You're right. And that was sort of out the door. It wasn't when he was still an Eagle. You know what I mean? Like it was. Yeah.
Now, I just saw over the weekend, Miles Sanders said something about the reason, ask the Eagles why I'm here instead of there. Stuff. I didn't get the full context of it. But
it was weird. Like he sort of intimated, like, I wanted the ball more in the Super Bowl. You'll have to ask them why I'm moving here, referencing Carolina.
Yeah.
He didn't really, like, he kind of went in, but he didn't go in. It was he intimated and hinted. Look, I think in his defense, he did have a heck of a year. And it just seemed like no matter what he did, he was not going to be back because they don't want to pay running backs. And frankly, considering the market, he got a great deal from Carolina. Like, he should be happy. Yeah. Like, what I mean? I know he wanted to stay here ultimately, but the way things turned out, that's rare that running backs even get that kind of money anymore.
I'm thinking along these lines, did his representation not fully prepare him for what's to come? Because we all knew in December, and as you remember, I reported in December that Miles Sanders was not coming back here. If I knew it, they knew it in-house. And his representation, I'm sure, was having conversations with Howie. How did they not prepare him better for what's to come? Because when he left, it was like a shock to him that he was leaving.
Right.
Now, maybe he just didn't want to believe that the Eagles, after the season he had, was going to let him go. But his agent, who has been around the block a few times, should have told him, hey, look, here's the history of the Philadelphia Eagles when it comes to two things, running backs and linebackers. Okay? They don't go out of their way to pay top dollars for either position. That's all he had to tell him. And then it's on the young man himself whether he wants to believe it or not. But
right. No,
and I don't know that his representation didn't prepare him. Maybe they did. He just didn't want to hear it because he started out with the Philadelphia Eagles. He went to Penn State. He wanted to stay in Pennsylvania and all that good stuff. And he just didn't listen to the outside music or valuable information. And so here it is. So maybe he is stinging still a little bit that he's in Carolina, but I think he has a great opportunity down there to be a feature back, a young up-and-coming quarterback. He's down there with a coach that he knows. Frankly,
he has history. Yeah.
History with. So it's not like you're going completely to foreign soil. And Carolina's a great city, Yeah. Every time I've gone to Charlotte is a great city.
It really is. Yeah.
And people love it.
I think you make a good point. Like, you know how it is. Sometimes in your own mind, there's some level of denial. We all have that to some degree, you know, and or if you like someplace, you're hopeful that it's going to work out, and it just didn't anyway. But yeah, listen, I hear you with that. That's for sure. I mean, look, we'll dig into that. Well, I'm be curious what Chris says. Chris Franklin has to say regarding